almost stopped recording now.
Compression, no. No, there's something that the fuel goes into. So the fuel goes into something and it sucks air in at the same time.
A filter.
It's called carburetor. Okay? You also get fuel injection, but for the ease of keeping this simple, carbs. Okay? So you've got
Carburetor.
fuel and oxygen.
Hopefully everyone in the video can turn their heads.
And that goes into the carb.
The carb.
So what the carb does is it mixes it together and turns it into more of a vapour.
Yeah.
Okay?
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, that's where it goes. You've got your intake that goes into the barrel. So, if we imagine that this is your cylinder head, okay? I'm rubbish at drawing, so you'll have to let me off with that one. So that's your cylinder head.
Yeah.
So the back of your cylinder head, you've got the carbs. Okay? One carb for each cylinder. Cars have got one carb for multi-cylinder. Not with us, okay? We've got one each. This is a 4-stroke engine, okay? And the way a 4-stroke engine works is it has to have valves. So we've got valves in the cylinder head. So if we've got the fuel and the oxygen going in the carb, and then it's got to get into the engine. But the important bit of the engine is the barrel, which has got something inside it. What's inside the barrel? What goes up and down inside the barrel?
Air.
Oh,
Fluids.
no. Pistons. Yeah.
Piston. Right, rubbish drawing, but this is a piston. Okay? And what you've also got are rings. What the rings are, the pistons are made of aluminium or alloy, right? And they're going up inside, and they're going up inside a steel tube, which is your cylinder, right? Now, if they were just touching the sides of that, then that would wear out really, really quickly because alloy is soft, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what you've got is these steel rings. And these steel rings, you have to press them in because they're sprung, and then when you get them inside the barrel, they spring out and cause a perfect seal. Because if there's any of the explosion going down past the piston, all we're going to do is have less power, and we're also losing, we've got all this explosion going into the engine, pushing oil out of places and causing big problems. So that's what they do. The rings do that.
Big leaks.
Yeah. So, for this to get in, you need valves. So you've got a valve there, and we'll just go for one valve per cylinder just now. So that's a valve. Valve opens, and the petrol and air mixture gets in, okay? And it gets into here. So this is then full. And that piston's going up and down, so then it squashes it.
So it's a bit like the brake.
Different, because
Is
this
it like
is
a
causing
spring?
power.
It just compresses and then...
Yeah.
No. Well, I suppose you might think of it.
Like in the way.
Yeah.
Slinky.
Yeah.
So the piston's going down and it sucks the fuel in. When the piston goes back up, then the valve closes and it squashes the fuel. Right? And then in the middle of the cylinder head, you've got your heat source, your ignition, which is, said it earlier on,
Power bar.
spark plug.
Oh yeah, I said that.
Okay, so your spark plug goes spark. What happens here when that goes spark?
Explosion.
Boom.
Explosion!
Boom, doesn't it?
Boom, then power, then...
That's it, Robbie. Boom, then power.
Nope.
So boom.
B-E-M.
When that goes boom, this piston gets sent down the way. Okay? Connecting the piston, you got that there. And that's a conrod. It goes on to a crank. Now if you look, conrod goes on the crank, so it's like up there. So when this comes down, what's that going to do?
That's going to...
Push that round, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the piston comes down, pushes that round. Then, piston goes back up. You've got another valve here. If that's your inlet, if that's your carb, what's this one going to be?
Outlet.
Pardon me?
Outlet.
That was an outlet, yeah?
Inlet.
So it's going to be an outlet or an exhaust valve, okay?
Because that's the thing that goes and gets all the smoke out.
Yep. So you've got an exhaust valve, which is then going into
Would that be gassed?
your exhaust.
Exhaust.
Okay? So your carb's going in there, your exhaust coming out here. So when that valve opens and the piston goes up, what does it do with all that fuel, with all that burnt fuel? So now it's just the gas.
Turns into carbon dioxide and
Yep.
floats in the atmosphere.
So where's it going to go? It gets shot out of that valve and comes out the exhaust.
It creates pollution, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Bad for the atmosphere.
Yeah, let's not worry about that. Though it's a motorbike, you're allowed to do that.
Really?
Yeah, in my book.
What about electric? Do you get electric motorbikes?
You do. But we'll not bother trying to work them out just now.
Ah, quite.
So, fuel comes in, goes boom, push the piston down. Through the fact that piston going down has then got momentum, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this crank's quite heavy, so once it starts moving, if you start pushing the car downhill and then decide to get in front of it to try and stop it, what's going to happen?
You're gonna get run over.
Yep, because it's got momentum. So that momentum is going to put the piston back up, and that's going to, as it goes back up, it's going to squash all the exhaust gases out.
It's gonna go
Okay?
boom.
And then it's going to come
Boom.
back down again. And as it comes back down, what's it going to do? This valve's going to open.
And they're gonna get smashed together.
It's
again.
going to soak more fuel and air mixture back in, isn't it?
Yep.
So then it's going to get back down to there. So you've still got momentum, it's still going, and then it's going to start going back up, and it starts to squeeze this until we go boom again. So 1, 2.
So just continue it.
Yep.
slow-
So what you've got to
slow.
think of is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 movements there. So that's how it gets the word of 4-stroke, because there's 4 strokes, 1, 2, 3, 4 to each power stroke. There's only one power stroke there. The one where it goes boom is the only power
Isn't
stroke.
it a 2-stroke as faster than a 4?
Oh yeah, much faster. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So, as this is going round, you might have multi-cylinder engines. So it might have 3 or 4 cylinders. It might have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's not many bikes if we've got any more than that. You've got a chain that's going round up here. And this chain is going all the way around the crank and back up. And that's on these. These are cams. What are you doing? So you've got camshafts, and they've got little lugs on them. As they go round, they push the valves down, and everything is timed to perfection. Okay, that's the important
Who
thing.
made the first car?
Isn't it somebody Mercedes or something? It wasn't Ford. I
Yeah,
think
it was
German.
Mercedes.
It might have been Audi.
No,
I thought it
Audi
was
wasn't on
gonna-
the go back then. It was,
I thought it was going to be like
It was Mercedes, wasn't it?
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
It's not like German.
So this chain is what keeps this opening all the time at the right time. Okay, because you've got the timing right. If the valves were open when the piston was at the top, what would happen? Yeah, it would wreck the engine because the valves and the piston would meet, and you don't want that to happen. So, you've got 4 strokes. You've got suck, squeeze, bang, blow. So it sucks the fuel in, squeezes it up, bang, then blows it out. So suck, squeeze, bang, blow. That's the basics of how an engine works. A 4-stroke engine works, okay? Why are you going?
He said it wrong.
Yeah, he's just.
He went.
Oh.
I don't remember what he said.
Suck.
Suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
I want suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
Right?
No, he went.
Yeah,
suck,
he thinks it sounds
bang.
rude. The rude one.
It does sort of sound rude, but
Yeah.
it's not meant to be.
Yeah, because this was invented before all those.
Yes, that
This was
explains all the
invented before
laughing.
Rubens.
And before me though.
Suck, boom.
And
Right.
before you.
So,
Suck, squeeze, bang,
let's go
boom.
through it again. What's the 4?
Suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Suck,
And
squeeze.
You did that with such
Bang, blow.
confidence.
How
Suck.
many, out of your 4 strokes, how many power strokes have you got?
4.
4.
2.
1.
1.
You have to get it right
Mine's
every
all
single
right.
time.
Didn't do that with your jacket, it's no cold in here.
Well, no, it's not. It's not snuggy.
I've got a thing on the laptop that shows you how this works, right? And it's quite good.
I went to Iceland before.
Have to zoom in for this.
You have to pay attention because I'm going to get you to draw your own version of this. It's trying to be better than my one.
But I'm recording.
So is that the one that you
You
just
wore a
drew?
bikini Iceland.
Me, Sam.
Nah, let's see if I can actually get the proper
Play.
this one.
Peed my pants.
Oh, that's it.
That's nice, Sam. What's that funny?
Right, that's your crank,
Yeah.
that's your pistons going up and down, that's your valves, that's your camshaft, that's the chain I was telling you about. So this is them going round and round and round, that's what's causing your power. But they all fire at different times. Okay? And if you watch this in a second, then you'll start to get the colours coming in. The blue is the cold fuel and air mixture. The red is the hot exhaust gases. Okay? So there's the blue, there's your fuel and air coming in. There's the red, there's your exhaust gases. You get explosions. See? So, suck, squeeze, bang, blow. see the valves opening to do all this?
Yeah.
Suck.
So this is what happens in a car, guys.
Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. So the only one you've got as a power stroke is the one where you see the big bit of flame.
Suck. Squeeze. Bang.
All 4-stroke engines are the same. That's how they work.
And what happens with two?
So is that like
You might
yours?
get different ways of doing the timing. Sometimes it's a belt, sometimes
So that's that.
Superior engineering.
That's in Japan.
I'm gonna start that. I look like a
it's unfair to say that. Japanese certainly been at the forefront